How can a person deal with obsessive and compulsive jealousy? Petro?
Deal with themselves, or if you are dating or married?
The person who wrote the question can please specify?
Maybe in the chat if they don't want to speak.
Yes, or in the chat.
Or they can speak. So with themselves, I guess. Yes, okay. Well, this is a better scenario because you've got someone there who, or anybody who is understanding. So you've got a step behind paranoia, okay? Because you are able to, not you, this person is able to understand what goes on, and because they understand what goes on, maybe they understand that this is wrong. In quotes, it's wrong because maybe it damages their life, their relationship, and so on. So there is a responsibility here. From the time we understand something, we've got the responsibility to change. Maybe we cannot change it by ourselves or by looking to various techniques in the internet and various people, whatever. So what I would suggest to these people is to have a very good psychoanalysis or at least psychotherapy, okay? And we start from this, that I understand that I'm jealous and I cause problems to my relationship and my life. So then I can think, what can I do? Why is this thing is there? And actually it's a very good calling to go for analysis or to research why, what is the cause of this? Since you understand that is there and you cannot stop it. If logic cannot stop it, then there is something inside these people that is kind of pushing them. They need to investigate it further. So this is what they can do if it is for themselves. And it's a good case scenario because these kind of people, they do have understanding and they have good possibilities of actually changing their lives. There is a why here. If there is a why, there is a possibility. There are two types of jealous people. Those who have this why, which are kind of minority, and most of them who do not have doubt. The danger is with those that they don't have doubt, because they have to display, they have to put the blame and on the other people. So with those you cannot do anything. Almost. So that's my response.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Petro. Penny?
It's making me think a lot, actually, this question, and also the possibility for movement. In my experience so far, it's possible for people to make movements, but not necessarily by prescription. Somehow, when the time is right, it's possible to move a little, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more. The question of to deal with the feelings, they're very painful. I mean, it's a lot of suffering. I don't know how somebody deals with the feelings. What I can say is, if these feelings are present, then to begin working on what is producing the feelings is something that I could understand. I don't know. I don't know how someone can deal with something so intimate, and that it really comes down to diminishing oneself, because it comes from an equation that the other is better than me. The other is better than me, and I'm wretched about it. I feel terrible about it, and there's no way to escape from that. The persecution, it's a kind of self-persecution. So really, it requires analysis and, other things probably too, if it's going to move in the near future, is to begin to allow the experience of satisfaction to extend, to begin to flow into new experiences which are not related to others. And that's a steady step by step by step by step by step by step by step movement. And I have seen people, not actually, I'm not speaking about people in analysis with me. It's never really come up with anybody I've worked with, I have to say. It's interesting that, but I have seen it in, people generally, and I have seen movements, and those movements happen the more somebody explores what they want from life. When Petros said, people who experience this can't see others, they also cannot really see themselves aside from, in a way, the moment when they're looking in the mirror is the only time that they feel they exist. So we could possibly relate this to people talk a lot about narcissism nowadays. And really the term narcissism is kind of used where in the past the word psychopath or sociopath. But actually narcissism proper, as such, is Narcissus who fell in love with his image in the mirror. And in a certain sense, the person to experience these feelings of jealousy, they must have been wounded and feel a great sense of injustice. And in that sense, they see themselves as a diminished object, someone who doesn't exist, who's a kind of nothing. And the only way that they can hold on to a sense of themselves is to look in the mirror in a particular way where they like to be seen, and preferably where somebody else could be jealous of them. This is the way, there may be others too, if others know of that, but this is the way that I can see it, I've seen it. And it's a way to hold on to oneself, to prevent feeling absolute trash and the injustice of having been trashed. So there's a lot will have gone in to produce these things. So to deal with the feelings, there isn't an aspirin that we can take on this. We have to begin to work on the foundations. And when we work on the foundations, for me, it's absolutely guaranteed that there will be movement. But it has to come, we can't make it happen in someone else. But if we're the one who's suffering, we can transform our experience if that's what we decide to do.